Hey everyone, it's Pops from Bourbon Banter, and I'd like to wish everyone a very happy National Bourbon Heritage Month. We're a week into the month, and it's been pretty hectic here at Bourbon Banter headquarters, hence the multi-day face scruff I've got going on. But finally had some time to sit down and put together one of the video reviews for this month, and we're going to start off talking about silicone ice ball molds. More specifically, we're going to talk about these ice ball molds, which were sent to us courtesy of Zircle, which were created by the Xena Group. They sent these a couple weeks ago for us to check out and to let people know what we think. We've put them through the paces, and so far we can give them a thumbs up. We like them a lot. What's nice about these, or what I think is nice, and once again, this doesn't mean there aren't other molds on the market, because we all know that you go to Amazon and search for ice ball molds, and there's doesn't seem to be an end to the different ones out there. What I like about these is, first of all, the good hefty weight. The bottom are flat, so they sit really nice in the freezer. In my case, really well. They're also very thick. I'm going to do a little close-up of this, but as you can see, the base here is very thick. While it's still pliable, you're not going to tear it, you're not going to puncture it, and the same goes for the top as well. It's kind of nice. These are also 2-inch diameter for the ice ball mold itself, so you get a nice big sphere of ice that will fit into a glass, but it's not too small. I have had some molds in the past that create a smaller ice ball and really didn't dig that too much. I felt like I had to put 2 of them in. It's kind of defeating the purpose of having these. But the construction of these are very well. They're food safe, no smells, no odors. They also hold up the heat, so you can actually wash them in your dishwasher if necessary, which is kind of nice. Another interesting thing about them is, if you've used an ice ball mold before, you typically put it together, hold it under your faucet, and fill it in through this hole. And that's not too terribly difficult, but for people who want a little bit more control over it, when you receive this package, they ship in a set of 4, so you get plenty to keep your stock filled in your fridge. It also comes with this silicone item, which is actually a funnel. So if you want to, you can simply push that into there, and then pour it in with water, which is kind of nice. What I actually found this kind of helpful for was if you wanted to get creative and put more than just water into the mold. In my case, I wanted to make an ice ball that would be part of a Manhattan. So basically, I want to be able to pour some bourbon into my glass and then put the ice ball in, and then I'm done. So what I did was I did a mixture of sweet vermouth, some bitters, and actually a little bit of water to help it freeze. Mix that up, and then I poured it in here. Since I was pouring out of a pitcher, I thought the funnel would actually be a little bit easier than just holding this, as compared to holding this under a tap. So I put that in there, and I put it in my freezer, and came back the next day and had a nice reddish colored from the vermouth ice ball, and put it into the glass, poured my bourbon over it, and it started melting quicker than an ice ball because with the vermouth and the alcohol in it, it didn't freeze the solid, and that's where the water helped. It was very, very nice. I started out with a strong bourbon flavor, but as the sphere melted, obviously added in those additional flavors, and was a very interesting twist on a bourbon Manhattan, something I encourage you to try out, as well as any other sort of mix or things you want to do. I know there's some restaurants even where they take and in the ice ball is the actual liquor for the drink, and they crack it, and then you have a cocktail. So no end to the creativity you can apply. But once again, these held up really, really well for me, and I can't recommend them enough. So if you've never used one of these before, the real joy is you're able to make these at home. You're able to make them relatively quickly. Here's one that we had in the freezer. Like I said, it just comes out, and then you're able to peel off. I'm gonna get my hands on the ball. I pried this out a little bit earlier. Put it into the glass. Nice solid thunk. And then you simply take your bourbon of choice, pour it over. Give yourself a nice generous pour, and then enjoy. Now, one thing that I'll let you know is if you've never used these before, if you take it directly out of the freezer and put it in the glass and pour whiskey over it, a lot of times it will crack. and when it cracks, the liquor can get inside of it, and it will melt a little faster. So you might want to temper it a little bit, and simply the way I temper it is I just let it sit out for a little bit and let the air get exposed to it. It hardens up a little bit, and then when I pour it in, it doesn't crack. So kind of a fun thing to be able to have. Very easy to make. With 4 of these, you can make a whole bunch of these and then put them in a Ziploc bag and keep them around for when guests or family or friends come over. And it's a nice way to be able to serve them a drink. And while I always put bourbon or rye with an ice ball, you can just as easily do it with any other type of liquor or mixed drink as well. So once again, creativity and solutions, and there's no end to that. So if you're looking for a new ice ball mold to check out, give our friends at Xena Group a chance with their Zircle products. You can get them on Amazon for $17.95 for a set of 4. That includes the funnel, and they are available for Prime shipping, so you can get shipping for free as well. Like I said, there's plenty of other molds on the market, very similar. Price points vary, so I'm not going to say this is absolutely the cheapest. And the one thing to remember is that the market is such that now you can go, if Bourbon and Banter wanted to create an ice ball mold, I could go to Alibaba.com and order a whole bunch of these. I could have my name printed on them and whatnot. So at some point, it's a commodity item. But I think the nice thing about these guys is they've realized we're going to give you 4. We're going to make them independent so they're easier to use. They've thrown in an extra item for some added functionality. And they seem to be a really good group to work with. So I imagine if you were to run in with any problems with the product, they'd be more than happy to take care of you. So give them a chance and sit back, enjoy a nice glass, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.